Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about my most anticipated 2020 book releases, and I'm so excited because there are truly so many amazing books coming out in 2020. They have amazing synopsises, amazing covers. I'm just so excited. And I was originally going to do like top 10 or like top 20 book releases of 2020, but there were honestly just too many. I couldn't narrow it down. So I actually decided that I'd rather just have a huge list of books that I'm super excited about so I can get them on your radar too, because yeah, there are just so many amazing books. So I'm going to try to be quite quick with each one because yeah, there are a lot. I actually haven't counted how many there are, but there are a lot. And if you think I'm missing any books on this list, I would love to hear your most anticipated releases for 2020. This list isn't even my complete list because there are just so many books. I can't stress that enough. Literally so many books. I have like a huge document with all the books, and I know that I'm missing some too. So yeah, I would love to know your most anticipated releases. I did also ask on Twitter and I got so many good responses, and yeah, so there are just so many good books coming out, and I think 2020 is going to be an amazing reading year. So I'm going to go month by month. So of course we're starting with January. So on the 7th we have 2 books coming out that I'm super excited about. So the first is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen, and this cover is truly stunning. I just absolutely love it. That is definitely what grabbed my attention at first, but it does sound really amazing too. So basically it says, for fans of Crazy Rich Asians or Jane Austen comedy of manners with a hint of La La Land. So basically we follow 18-year-old Eva Wong, who is moved from Ohio to Taiwan because her parents want her to study Mandarin over the summer, and suddenly she is with all these overachieving people that her parents have always wanted her to be. But what her parents don't know is that the program is actually an infamous teen meat market that is nicknamed Love Boat, where the kids are actually more into clubbing and drinking and everything. So our main character feels like she can finally be free from her parents' strict rules and just live life. So yeah, definitely super interested to read this, and once again, the cover. Also, I feel like I should stop saying I'm excited to read this because I feel like I'm going to say that about every single book, but it's obvious that I'm excited to read these books, so I feel like I should try to stop that. Anyway, so the next book that is releasing on the 7th of January is Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. So this is the first in a new YA fantasy duology, and it basically follows Amaya, who rescues a mysterious stranger from drowning, and the man that she saved actually offers her unimaginable riches and a new identity. And yeah, it just sounds really good. Then on the 21st of January we have The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Truly Devious trilogy, which is like a YA mystery series. I actually haven't read the second book, but I have read the first book and I absolutely loved it, so I definitely want to read the second book and also the third book obviously to finally get the answers. And I just found the first book so fun and mysterious, and yeah, definitely can't believe I haven't read the second book, but I definitely need to read that and also the third book, and I really hope it's a satisfying conclusion because yeah, there definitely weren't too many answers in the first book, and I've heard that the second book doesn't have too many answers, so I hope everything is satisfying in the third. Okay, moving on to February, we have The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper, and this is being released on the 4th of February, and this is a YA contemporary, and the cover once again is what made me interested in this book. I saw it at Book Expo and I was like, wow, that is stunning. But it also sounds really amazing. We basically follow a social media journalist with 500,000 followers, 17-year-old Cal. I just realized I don't know how I pronounce NASA. NASA? I don't say NASA. NASA. So Cal is used to sharing his life online, but once his pilot father is selected for a highly publicized NASA mission to Mars, his family have to move and they're suddenly thrust into this huge media circus. So Cal's life immediately becomes chaotic, and then he meets this other boy and immediately starts falling for him. So yeah, it just sounds like it's gonna be so good. And then on the 6th of February we have Heartstopper Volume 3, which I'm so excited about. If you know me, then you know I love this graphic novel series so much. It's basically just a cute love story between these 2 boys, and one of them is trying to figure out his sexuality, and it's just so freaking cute. I love the art style, and I've given the first 2 volumes 5 stars, so I assume this is also going to be 5 stars, and I'm just so excited for it to release. The cover's so cute, so definitely excited for that one. Moving on to March, on the 3rd of March, Chain of Goals by Cassandra Clare is being released, and I was lucky enough to actually receive this early copy from Walker Books Australia, so I'm so freaking thankful, and I actually have already read it. I did upload a vlog of me reading this book, so I'll link it up above if you want to watch it. But I loved it so much. 5 out of 5 stars, and this was like my most anticipated release of the year, so the fact that I got to read it early was just amazing. But yeah, get excited for this because it was truly amazing, and I had super high expectations, and the book even exceeded those expectations. So I'm really excited for everyone to read this so I can finally talk about it with people. But this is the first book in the Last Hours trilogy, and this is set in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, so you do have to read a lot of books before you read this book. And I do get a lot of questions about how to read the Shadowhunter Chronicles, so I will leave an amazing video that Emma Books did. She's like the Shadowhunters queen, and she did a video on how you can read the Shadowhunters book, so I'll definitely leave that linked in my description, because yeah, I do get a lot of questions about that, but you do have to at least read the Infernal Devices. I mean, I guess you could read this, but anyway, I just recommend watching that video. But yeah, so this is being released on the 3rd of March, and I'm so excited. Even though I already read it, I just can't wait to hear everyone's opinions. On the 3rd of March, we do also have Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chapeko being released, and I've never read a Rin Chapeko book, but this sounds really amazing. This is a Filipino own voices fantasy story, so I definitely want to read it, and I know Melanie loves this author, so I definitely want to read it. Then on the 31st of March, we have We Are Totally Normal by Rahul Kanakia, and I absolutely love this cover, and it sounds really cool too. So it's basically about Nandan, who is going into his junior year, and he's going to make sure that it is perfect. He wants the parties to be chill, he wants to smooth things over with his ex, and one night after a party, he actually hooks up with another guy called Dave, and he starts freaking out because he didn't think he was into guys before, so he's basically just trying to find his sexuality. So yeah, definitely excited for that. And then moving into April, we have The Serpent's Curse, which is by Lisa Maxwell, and it is the 3rd book, and I believe the final book in the Last Magician series. And if you don't know, I did read The Last Magician this year. Actually, I think this will be uploaded in 2020, but I read it in 2019, and I absolutely loved it. I actually haven't read the second book again. I need to, but I absolutely loved the first book, and I hope I'm gonna love the second book, so I'm excited for the 3rd book to come out so I can read books 2 and 3. It's basically a YA fantasy, historical fiction, just amazingness. It just has so many amazing elements. It involves time travel, amazing powers. It's just such a good series. Amazing characters, yes. So I'm so excited for the 3rd book, even though once again I haven't read the second book, but and then also on the 7th of April, we have Check Please Book 2 coming out, and I read book 1 in 2019 again, and I loved it. And basically book 1 and book 2 of Check Please will be the complete webcomic, because it was a webcomic, so you can read it online for free, but I haven't finished because I just wanted to wait for book 2 to come out. But I loved the first one, so I'm definitely excited for this. It's just a super cute YA graphic novel. It's LGBTQIA+, it involves baking, the main character is a vlogger. It's just super cute, and obviously it involves hockey. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the cover definitely shows that it involves hockey. But yeah, so super excited for that. And then another book that's being released on 7th of April is Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega. Super excited to read this book. It sounds so amazing. It's being pitched as Coco meets Stranger Things with a hint of Ghostbusters in this action-packed supernatural fantasy. So it is a middle grade fantasy, and yeah, so it involves ghosts. It's set before Halloween. It says it's thrillingly spooky, so that's all I need to know. I'm definitely gonna read this, and I'm so freaking excited. Then on the 28th of April, Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova is being released, and I'm so excited because just this one line in the synopsis hooked me. It says, I am Renata Condiva. I've lived 100 stolen lives. Now I live my own. That was like all I needed to know, and I was like, that sounds amazing. Someone let me know that this is one of their most anticipated releases, and once I read that line, I was like, okay, yeah, it's on my list. Okay, moving on to May, we have The Henna Wars by Abida Jagiuda, and this is being released on the 12th of May, and this says When Dimple Met Rishi meets Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda in this rom-com about 2 teen girls with rival henna businesses. So basically the main character is Muslim and is into girls, and Muslim girls aren't supposed to be lesbians, so she's definitely scared to come out to her family and everything. So I believe it just follows her struggles with that, and the cover just looks absolutely stunning. Then on the 14th of May, we have Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I read With the Fire and High by Elizabeth Acevedo. Absolutely loved it, so that's why it's on my list. I actually don't even know the synopsis, but that's why it's on my list too, because I just think I'm gonna love it since I love her writing. Then we have Parachutes by Kelly Yang being released on the 26th of May, and I really want to read this because it is an Asian story and it is a modern immigrant story, so that's why it's on my list. Then we have The Gilded Ones by Namina Vorna, also being released on the 26th of May, and this cover is just so stunning, and it is the first book in a new West African inspired fantasy series, and it says, in this world, girls are outcasts by blood and warriors by choice. So the main character, 16-year-old Dekar, lives in fear and anticipation of the blood ceremony that will determine whether she will become a member of her village. So it just sounds like it's going to be so cool. And moving on to June, we have A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, and this is being released on the 2nd of June. So this follows a black siren named Tavia, so that's all I need to know. So excited about this one. Then we have Now That I've Found You by Christina Forrest, and this is also being released on the 2nd of June, and this follows 18-year-old Evie Jones, who is poised to be Hollywood's next big movie star, following in the footsteps of her uber-famous grandma Evelyn Conaway. But then one of her friends betrays her, so she actually gets fired and blacklisted. So her grandmother is going to try to save her career using her status and everything, but then the day before she is supposed to attend an event with her grandma disappears. So she goes to the person who last saw her grandmother before she disappeared, Milo Williams, who is a cute musician who Evie Gigi isn't sure she can trust. So the two of them spend a wild week together in New York searching for Gigi, the grandma. I don't know if I mentioned that's her grandma's name. So it's supposed to be full of romance and adventure, and it just sounds so freaking good. Then on the 9th of June, we have Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas being released. I'm so excited about this because this is an Own Voices trans story. The cover is amazing. It involves ghosts. Like, yes. Then we have the Falling in Love montage by Kiara Smith, which is being released on the 9th of June. So Saoirse's mother has dementia, so she's definitely struggling with that. So she's not looking for romance, but obviously a romance happens because this is a female-female romance, and so I'm very excited for that. Then on the 16th of June, we have I'll Be the One by Lila Lee, which has an amazing cover, and this is a rom-com about a plus-size bisexual Korean-American who enters a TV reality competition to be a K-pop star and falls in love with a famous competitor. Then on the 23rd of June, we have Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, and this is the second book in the Brown Sisters series, but I believe it's like a companion, so you don't have to read the first book. But the first book is amazing. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Definitely recommend it. So yeah, I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown in 2019. Absolutely loved it. So super excited for this one. So we did get introduced to Dani, Chloe's sister, in the first one, and she seems like such an amazing character, so very excited for this adult romance. And it says that it's basically a romantic comedy about a young woman who agrees to fake date her friend after a video of him rescuing her from their office building goes viral. Okay, so the next book is probably my favorite book cover that I have seen for 2020. It's just so stunning, and it is Forest of Souls by Laura M. Lee. And this is the first book in a new YA fantasy series, and yeah, once again, just this cover, can we appreciate it? It's so stunning. So we basically follow Saoirse, who has spent years of training to become the Queen's next royal spy, but her plans are derailed when shamans attack and kill her best friend. But then Saoirse actually restores her best friend's life, and it involves an ancient forest possessed by souls, and yeah, honestly, could not be more excited for this book. It sounds so freaking good. Another book I'm super excited about is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and this is being released on 30th of June. And this is a reimagining of the classic Gothic suspense novel, a story about an isolated mansion in 1950s Mexico and the brave socialite drawn to its treacherous secrets. And this is adult fiction. I'm super excited about it. I'm into that. Like, just yes, that's all I needed to know. Then in July, we have Zara Hossein is Here by Sabina Khan, and this is being released on the 7th of July. And this follows a Pakistani immigrant who have waited years for their visa process to be finalized so they can finally become US citizens, but it only takes one moment for that dream to come crashing down around them. So the main character has to deal with Islamophobia, and I just think this is going to be an amazing and powerful and important story. Then in August, we have Star Daughter by Shweta Thakra, which is being released on the 11th of August. And this is YA fantasy. We follow the daughter of a star and a mortal, Sheetal, who is used to keeping secrets. But when a flare of starfire injures her father, her human father, Sheetal needs a full star's help to heal him. So her quest takes her to a celestial court of shining wonders and dark shadows, where she must act as her family's champion in a competition to decide the next ruling house of the heavens, or risk never returning to Earth at all. So this is based on Hindu mythology, so I'm very excited for this. Then we have Vicious Spirits by Kat Chaw, which is the second book in the Wicked Fox series, duology, sorry. So this is the final book. Oh my god. If you don't know, I read Wicked Fox in 2019, and it's a YA fantasy inspired by Korean mythology. I absolutely loved it, so I'm so excited. This doesn't have a cover yet, but I am so freaking excited, and I'm sure the cover's going to be amazing because the first book's cover was stunning. So I can't wait to see what the cover looks like. I can't wait to read this. Yeah, this is definitely one of my like top most anticipated releases, and that is being released on the 18th of August. Then on the 25th, we have Darius the Great Deserves Better, which is the sequel to Darius the Great Is Not Okay, which is a book that I love. So this is actually a companion, and it says Darius suddenly has it all: a boyfriend, an internship, a spot on the soccer team. It's everything he's ever wanted, but what if he deserves better? So yeah, I actually didn't even know this was coming out until recently, and I'm so excited because, like I said, I loved the first book so much, so I think this is also going to be amazing. Then in September, we have Untitled Fence Novel by Cerise Brennan and C.S. Pacat. This has no cover and it doesn't even have a title, but I'm so excited because this is like a YA novelization of the graphic novel series by C.S. Pacat, Fence, and I just love that graphic novel series. It's basically about these boys at school who fence, and they're just amazing characters. I love the fencing element, and it's just such a good series. So excited when I found out that it's going to be turned into a novel because it would just be perfect. Moving on to October, we have Shine by Jessica Jong, which is releasing on the 6th of October. We don't have a cover yet, but it sounds so good because it is a Korean story. So it says Crazy Rich Asians meets Gossip Girl by way of Jenny Han in this knockout debut about a Korean American teen who is thrust into the competitive Technicolor world of K-pop. From Jessica Jong, K-pop legend and former lead singer of one of the most influential K-pop girl groups of all time, Girls' Generation. So excited. Okay, so those are all the books that have confirmed release dates, but there are some other books that I wanted to mention that don't have release dates, but they're most likely going to be released in 2020. I believe most of these are confirmed for 2020, but some of them aren't, but I'm guessing it'll be 2020. So first we have Girls of Paper and Fire number 3, so the third book in the series by Natasha Nyan. I believe this will also be the last book in the series, but I love the first book. I'm currently reading the second book, so I'm very, very excited for the third. Also excited to see the cover because the first two books absolutely stunning. Some of my favorite covers ever. Then we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. I think this could possibly be my new favorite V. Schwab book because it just sounds so good, and V. Schwab has been talking about this book for years, so I'm so excited it's finally going to be released in 2020. And it's about a love story between a French girl and the devil over 300 years. She sells her soul for the ability to live forever, and the devil curses her to be forgotten by everyone she meets. How amazing does that sound? I'm so excited. Then we have The Legacy of Orisha number 3, so the third book in the series by Tomi Adeyemi. So of course I'm excited for this because I love Children of Bottom Bone, so very excited, and I hope this will be released in 2020, but it might be 2021. Then we have Fence Volume 4, and I mentioned this graphic novel series earlier, but yeah, so I love this series. Volume 3 was my favorite, so I'm so excited for Volume 4. I can't believe there hasn't been any confirmed release date, but hopefully it comes out in 2020 because I'm dying for it. Then we have Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar, and this has an amazing cover, and it's basically a YA novel about a transgender teen grappling with identity and self-discovery while falling in love for the first time. And I definitely want to put an effort into reading more trans stories because I feel like that's definitely lacking in my reading, so very excited for this, and once again the cover is so stunning. So yes, those are all the books finally that I'm excited for that are being released in 2020. Once again, I would love to hear what books you're excited for, and hopefully you found out about some new books that you weren't aware of that are being released in 2020. I'm just so freaking excited. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a good day or night, and I'll see you in my next one.